Hello and welcome to our third podcast.
Yep.
It's been
Is it?
It's been a while. We haven't done this for 4 weeks.
We did the live stream, but it was sideways
Yes, we did.
because none of us apparently know.
It was totally a creative decision, though.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah.
Totally, yeah. It was meant to happen.
It wasn't just we didn't just cock it up. That would be what kind of idiots would put a live stream on where you're completely sideways for the whole thing.
Us.
Anyway, yeah. So now we're gonna have to do them all like that. So we all that'll be our thing.
It's going to be a theme. Next time
call
it
it
might be upside down.
The Sideways podcast.
The sideways.
We still haven't got a name for it. It doesn't matter.
No, just Lawson Ryan Studios Photography.
Yes, exactly.
Podcast /
It's catchy. Good. What are we talking about today, Michael?
So today we are talking about the top 5 tips for new photographers.
Okay. Woo! We really need some sound effects or something.
We do. I might buy an air horn.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be good. Yeah. We can get one of them.
We'll manually do them.
New photographers, people were thinking of starting out professionally.
Yeah, because I mean, there's a lot of people starting photography now, which is great.
There is.
And I remember when I first started back a fair few years ago, and just with the way things have been, I mean, there's YouTube for information, as this will be on YouTube, and there's also Facebook groups, which I know are really popular. I know when I was starting, I was going on Flickr. I'm not sure if that's even a thing anymore. No one really uses it as far as I'm aware.
I can remember Friends Reunited, so
put it on MSN Messenger.
MSN Messenger, yeah, on my flip phone.
So
well, weren't you saying, because you were having a look today, weren't we? Because we were always having a look on YouTube at people, especially photography stuff, obviously, and put it on. And you did point out, and it is quite true, there's quite a lot of negative stuff on there. What you're doing, what traps to fall in, what you're doing wrong, why photographers are gits, why, there's all.
And I do want to say we're not telling you what to do. We're just giving you information. Because this is another thing I find, especially on the Facebook groups. It's hobbyists, not professionals, telling you what you need to buy, which you don't need to buy. And it just becomes almost like it's all the gear and not the skill. And it's just
I guess it's what
if this isn't sharp enough because I didn't have the 5D Mark IV, it's like, no, maybe your shutter speed was just a bit low. Yeah, that kind of thing. And it's focusing it more on the skill and the experience rather than the gear. Yeah,
and what would have been handy to know before you started.
Yeah, because once you've perfected everything at a modest level of equipment, then once you can afford the professional.
I like how we're saying we perfected things.
Definitely.
Once you've blagged it through enough and you've sort of figured it out, then buy some better gear. No, it is true. I mean, one of the things I was gonna on that. Yeah. So if we're doing a top 5, because we do actually think about this. I know it doesn't sound like it, but
it's probably a top 10 or 20.
There's absolutely no. This was sort of 5 things that we thought of. Yeah. So what is your number 1?
So it's in kind of in no particular order of importance, but I know this one's a biggie where there's always a conversation whether if it's Canon, Nikon, Olympus, Sony, Panasonic. I'm sure there's probably Pentax. Can't forget Pentax. Even though everyone kind of has forgotten about Pentax.
Yeah.
Phase 1 or did you say Hasselblad?
I did say Hasselblad.
Yeah, that's not a starter camera.
It's not really, is it? The one that landed on the moon.
But simply that they're all good enough, especially to start on.
They're all pretty good. Yes, they are all pretty good.
Start on, it doesn't matter. Yeah, really, it doesn't. You can still get lenses for them. You can still use manual settings, shoot RAW, all those lovely things. And I mean, the first camera I got wasn't actually a DSLR. It was a Micro Four Thirds mirrorless.
Oh right, okay.
Oh, as in a proper, proper digital. Sorry, not my very first. But that wasn't even a full-on DSLR. Yeah. Which, again, mirrorless is always an option too. I mean, I love mirrorless for shooting video. I'm not the biggest fan for photography. Maybe I'm just a bit too set in using DSLR. Yeah. Because I've been using it for so long now. But yeah.
So, the make of camera.
I mean, did you start on Nikon?
I started on Nikon, yeah. Only for the reason being, go to buy a camera, because I want one. Yeah. This was film. I've got it here.
Oh, yeah.
Found it. Look at this. This is my very first Nikon F60.
Blast to the past.
God, it's got a film in it. I've just ruined. No, I've opened it loads. Kids have played with it. God knows what's on it. But yeah, this was the first one, and it was bought really because that was the one that was on offer, and there was Canons there, and probably not Sony's, but there was Pentax and Kodak and different choices, but that one was on offer. I could afford it. It looked like it did everything that I thought it needed to do. So that was the decision, and then kind of ended up. Then when get a digital, I've just got used to Nikon until it was trying Canons, using different ones, finding out it's much and muchness, but it's familiarity.
Of course,
and that was fine, and it did the trick. But which kind of goes on to what?
Yeah, I mean the first camera I started off with like proper, because my very first digital camera was like a Fujifilm bridge camera. When they look like DSLRs, but they're not quite. Yeah. I mean that cost me £15 second hand, so that was nice. A really nice cheap starter. And then I got the mirrorless Panasonic GF2, and I mainly picked that over a DSLR to begin with because for under £100 I could have something that shot 1080p video and had manual photo settings, so it was kind of like an all-in-one. Yeah,
because that's a consideration now, because that video never. It didn't even enter into my head.
No.
It was a film camera, but it didn't matter. But even with SLR, I was never going to fit. It was specifically for still photography. That's what I was getting it for. And obviously, and everyone was giddy. We were all giddy back then because you can do what? I got a memory card that can store 50 images, not 1,000. And that was brill. That was the fun bit. So then it really didn't matter. But then everyone got obsessed with different things, and it was megapixels. The only importance was that. Yeah. No matter how much you used, and then to the point where when you've been using them for ages, I'm actually starting now to take into consideration the weight of the thing.
Of course.
Just how you use it. It's like I always use the car analogy thing. Like you start driving, you start doing it. Yeah, a more expensive car is going to go faster. It is. And all right. A better camera, a more expensive camera is going to be able to do other things that the smaller ones can't, but it's still driving. It's still the same thing, and if you can't drive, then it's pointless having either of them. And a little bit like now, being an old man, like comfort. There's something to base a car on, not all the gadgets. You know what I mean? And it's like similar with the cameras, because I want to be able to use it because we're going to use them daily for quite specific things as well.
The car analogy is a good thing, because I suppose. I mean, not everyone, but I suppose most people for the first car, especially here,
get it cheap.
Yeah, you get a cheap, maybe 1 litre tiny little car to begin with, and you kind of build it up. But you won't just go straight into a 3 litre.
But do you reckon
BMW.
If you went straight into a 3 litre, you'd drive it very carefully? You probably wouldn't use it. You'd keep it in a nice garage, and you wouldn't.
Unless if you're 18,
unless you're 18, like a camera, you buy a 5D Mark IV for $6,000, and you're not going to take it on holiday.
You're going to be scared to.
You're scared to use it. That's the thing.
Especially when you're not quite sure how to
play
use it.
With it. Yeah, and then mess about with it, and it has got all the gadgets on, and you all of a sudden you realise you can't start it.
Yeah,
the car, not the camera. Well, you might not be able to start the camera.
I mean, my first DSLR, it was a second-hand Canon 20D. I think it's worth the same amount now than when I got it 7, 8 years ago. Yeah, probably. And it's like £80.
Yeah,
which was brilliant. And another little quick tip as well is the cameras are important, but lenses go so much further than the cameras. You can spend hundreds on a camera, and years later it'll be worth less. Lenses,
primarily. Well, and that's what
if you're buying a lens for £400, when you're selling it 2 years later, it'll be likely still £400.
I think lenses, that's what affects your in-camera shooting more. That all gives you different options, much with zoom and focal length and stuff like that. You can, and that's what will change how you shoot more than the camera body, which is essentially just recording it.
And the lenses are getting better every year, but at a much slower pace than bodies. So
that is probably true. So
the camera bodies are a bit
lenses
more
last a long time. Yeah, which is good, and that's something that I wish I would have done. But again, I was fortunate when I started, because I started working for a company, so I had my own camera because I wanted it. Then start working for someone, and you haven't got any choice of gear. That's what we used.
Yeah.
So with the portrait company, that was Canon. That's where we started using Canon.
Which one used Olympus? Because you don't really
that was
many using Olympus.
That was all the Mills. Yeah, that was the ones that were the Mothercare portrait studios and the fixed studios as well. So that would have been like in the noughties.
And did you have a preference between the two at the time, or did you just not
Well, again, I'd gone from... This was the thing. I'd gone from one children family portrait studio that did massive amounts daily, do you know what I mean, in public, and then to studios that the basis for getting that job was not that I could operate the camera. The camera was as basically set up. Well, it was just fixed. It was a fixed studio camera for that reason. That they were more concerned about what you get from the subjects, which obviously, as they're a big company, they're trying to sell them. That's going to win over. But no one bought a picture based on how well you changed your shutter speed, unless it was blurry. Do you know what I mean? But it wasn't. It was set. It was safe. It was always a studio environment. So it didn't matter. We didn't spend a lot of time talking about the cameras, other than this camera sucks.
I suppose that's another good thing to mention as well. Is like with the settings and stuff. That's probably more of an issue with us than anyone who'd look at your pictures. Like who isn't a photographer?
It's to get it, isn't it? That's the thing. Like
if we got a picture of their child, like a beautiful image of them smiling, they won't go, "Oh, lovely background blur in that one." Really,
not specific. I think
instead of the
all
smile.
of those things, the lighting, the composition, how well it's shot or not, is maybe a reason that they like it as well.
It all works together. Yeah,
it all works together, but not something.
It's not number one priority.
It comes down to the face and what you manage to get.
Yeah,
you know what you manage to
move to point
two.
It, so I think.
Well, that was kind of.
I've added about 3 points into the point one.
Well, point two, that was kind of it. Get to know the gear as much as the gear. Some people love the gear, love it, want to know it inside out. But again, like we're saying, I don't think that really sells your pictures. It just makes you good at it.
Yeah, I think this is more crucial for weddings because
get to know you.
If you're in a studio, you can take a little bit more time with getting everything set up and everything. Whereas with the wedding's got its own pace and structure and
it's time and lighting and venues and everything's different.
Just on that day and everything.
Yeah.
I remember when I did my first wedding and I got like a flash gun for it. Like I was just like constantly trying to use the flash gun. Like
because you've got it. I definitely did that.
On the lead up to the wedding, though, making sure like it wasn't an ETTL one, it was a manual, so I had to move the flash up and down. I was just getting used to the whole distance and everything setting it up.
When I look back through all, like, you know, if you've got years with the weddings, you can go like looking through some folders at the same time going, oh, I think that's where I could probably tell where I bought my speed light there.
Yeah.
Because I've used it all and like quite liking that, and then all of a sudden it's like, obviously went off it there and everything. It must have been messing about with natural light, like really wanting to do that. Until realising that was point two was you got to just get to know this stuff. It's kind of like driving.
You use your gear like
use it all the time.
I mean, you don't have to particularly read the manuals, but at least go through all the menus and maybe watch YouTube videos on like what certain logos mean, what certain settings do things, and just be a bit more confident and comfortable with your camera.
Yeah, get used to using it so it doesn't feel unfamiliar. And yes, there's definitely something to be said for earn as you work. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. But if it's weddings, you don't want to be all of a sudden like, why is my focus dot going all over the place? I don't know how to reset it.
One thing you want to mess up.
What have I, you know what I mean? And so you think again, it's back to thinking about what you're shooting, not how.
Yeah,
I mean, you've got to think about how you're shooting it, but that's not the be all and end all, because you'll miss so much stuff. And
of course,
again, no one's that bothered unless it looks great.
Of course. And tip number 3 is don't upgrade yet. Like this is kind of a big one where people are wanting to. I know I've seen in plenty of Facebook groups where they've bought. I'm trying to think what the cheapest Canon camera is now. Might be the 2000D. I think it's 2000D, which is a perfectly able camera. And they've probably had it for 3 months. And like, right, I'm ready to move up to an 80D.
Yeah.
It's like in 3 months, have you learned manual settings and and again,
back to lenses being probably a better change of investment into something, so you can do different things.
I think even the cheapest cameras now are 18 megapixels, which is plenty, and like you can still choose all the shutter speeds and all the apertures and all the ISOs. Like it's still got all them settings and it still shoots in RAW. Like that body is completely fine, unless you need like a metal body. Like if you're shooting in the rain, which I'm sure most people with their new cameras will want to avoid. Like, don't feel pressure to upgrade. Like, if anything, like you said, like lenses. Like, if you wanted to get, like, if you needed a zoom because you've only got the kit lens, or if you needed a 50mm for low light for the 1.8. Like, don't rush into getting a new camera. Like, try and build on your own skills and your own comfortable. Comfortably with it all.
Point 4 is this was my sort of biggest one.
Yep.
I think because it shoot as often as you can, even if not everything's for money.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like for 2 reasons. One, like that helps you get to know your camera and stuff, but to get to know people, because whatever you're shooting, you can fall down on loads of different points if there's especially if you're doing kids photography. Like I was amazed how like when I first started with a kids photography company, that the lady Lydia who was training me in it, if you like, well, I was turning up ready for like, we're going to do child psychology, I'm going to know all these tricks, she's going to show me loads of camera stuff, and it's going to be amazing. And it was basically, watch these 5 shoots, right, do that. Like what do you mean? I haven't got kids, I've no family that have kids, I'm not around kids, I don't really know. Just do that, like figure it out, do something. There's kids, they're not necessarily going to work it out. If you want them, it's that means to an end thing, isn't it? Like you can be people, which is lovely. Like say that we're great with the kids, you know. But we've done. If you think about, if we shoot 100 kids at a nursery every day, there's thousands and thousands and thousands. And then in studio as well, you do start to get to know stuff. What works for certain age groups, what is genuinely fun for them. But ultimately, what you can do to get them to allow you to get the shot that you're after. So I've got an idea. I want a really belly laughing, head back, hair everywhere, over the top shot. Do you know what I mean? Something that's full of emotion and all that. And I can't ask them to do. Ask a 2-year-old to do that. They're not going to do that. But you see how it's going. You figure it out, and you can think, right, this is where this is going, and then you're doing it for a means to an end, which is the whole point. And then it's lovely when people say, great with the kids, and say, if you really think about it, I just wound them up. To get what I wanted, but that is ultimately what you wanted. You wanted happy, laughing like they are normally, and this is a different environment.
It's kind of being in control of it, and
because that can spiral out of control massively.
Being able to get that side of the child as well, which the parents will know very well, that the more mischievous, playful side.
But that'll come out when they trust you, know you, they're comfortable in what they do. And anyone, this is one that I think. Sorry, anyone that says, "Oh yeah, but the kids photography, that's not ultimately what I want to do. I want to work with adults and pets or landscapes or whatever." I don't care what anyone says. If you can do the kids stuff, it is all relevant. You're doing stuff 10 times faster than you do with adults. You're trying to get influencing without asking, which you can still do with adults, and then you come across as really relaxed and super easygoing. And then it all goes. You can go turn your head that way a bit, and if that's it, or you can mirror them. You can show them that's actually easier. And ultimately, you're always, more often than not, you're looking at getting emotion, evoking emotion from the picture, and you're going to sell it to a person. So that was one of the best things. I didn't realise. I just thought, at the time, it didn't matter. It was a paycheck. And I enjoyed it, and it was good fun. It was messing about and taking pictures. How cool is that? That was brilliant, but it ended up being quite good grounding, because you walk into a situation of you've got a corporate event to do with people earning £500,000 a year and board of directors, and their brief was to look like we're a fun, happy company. I mean, if you haven't worked with kids, you aren't going to be able to get them to do that, because you have to be a bit childish about the whole thing. But in a professional way. So it's in studio, we can get one family's age group can be newborn to 8-year-old grandparent, can't it? And you wanting to get
from doing business headshots to baby shots. Then we have a dog in like Doug.
So Doug was cool. So shoot and shoot. That is definitely
just to add on to that as well, because I mean, obviously I started photography a little bit later than you. With YouTube up on the rise, it's already risen. When I first started getting into photography, there's a thing where you can kind of keep reading up about it, watching videos about photography, and you kind of soak in all that information, but then never actually put it into practice with the camera. So again, to reinforce this shoot and shoot is, yes, you can watch videos on YouTube like this one for tips and little information on how it can improve, but just go out and shoot.
Yes, you got to do it to see.
You need to get the practicality and the muscle memory, and just going through it, and because you'll be able to problem solve much better the more you shoot. So you'll be able to find out I keep missing focus, or I'm not quite getting the look I want, or like Andy said, with with photographing children, like that definitely takes time to get used to photographing children and getting a rapport with them. And then, I mean, we can break the ice with a child within like 3 seconds now.
You might as well, because there's no point wasting time.
Exactly.
If they're not, get them on side, and then you'll start getting the pictures that you want.
As soon as they see that side of you immediately, that's their impression of you, and then they're generally.
This is the thing. We've got a young lady starting with doing some work experience from one of the colleges, local colleges, in a couple of weeks' time, and we were saying to the college, look, we're out at nurseries. We've got the studio and nurseries that we're going to be at. So speaking to her and just asking about what it will involve, and she's genuinely interested in doing photography. I was saying, look at it this way. You know, we're going to go to a nursery. We're going to do a minimum of 45 mini portrait sessions, but that's 45 different kids of different ages. You can do that in one day. So after that first day, you're 45 times better than when you started. Then we're going to do it in a studio, maybe do 3 or 4. Bigger families, bigger groups to do. Then we're going to do a nursery again. This is how that week's running. She's picked a hell of a week, right? Which is, you know, it might be 40, 50 shoots again. So hopefully by the end of a week, we come away from work experience going, how was it? I'm going, I'm 200 times more experienced than I was. In 1 week, I can't think of anything more useful. And, you know, there'll be no fear for picking up the camera, because I am going to drop her right in it, to be honest, and just, here we go. But all of that, what I mean is that cameras, the settings and things can be taught, and you can work on that at your own time. It's very difficult to have live kids that don't know you. You can have your family, but they will do what you say.
It's another thing with photography as well. I mean, kind of one thing I didn't really think about when I was first started is like how sociable being a photographer is. It's all on interaction, and
totally,
because like you can have the best camera, best studio in the world, but if you have a subject and you've got to have no rapport with them, whether if it's headshots or children or even a pet, but you don't know how to sort of build rapport with them. A dog will just keep running around and you'll get no chance of getting a good picture. A child might cry because they're not quite fond of you. Or someone in the headshots might still be a bit nervous and not really
you don't
show
get
their natural side with you.
That you want. And I've heard it a million times. People, like, I've seen a picture that a photographer's taken of them, and they look great, and it's a very good shot. But they didn't enjoy getting it done because it either took ages, or they were rude, or it wasn't very enjoyable. However good that shot is, you look at it, and they're going, I do look good on that, but I've still got a memory of how it was done. So it's not as great. I'm remembering that. So yes, it looks good, but it wasn't great today. If you've got both, it was great fun. I didn't even know it was done. And I look at it and it's brilliant. Then that's the winner for me. I think, and a reason for people to come back. And use you again, because it was actually good fun getting it done. So you can get a bit bogged down in it, can't you? Just shoot and like you were saying, look around. If there's a certain style, a certain thing that you like the look of, figure out specifically how that was done, and then get the hang of that, and then move on. Because trying to do everything in one go, that's painful.
Right, I suppose on to our fifth and final point.
We will recap because I can't even remember.
We'll do a quick bullet point at the end.
Go.
So edit. I'm not even sure if this is still a thing, but I know probably when you were starting, when I was starting. Again, this was another thing with hobbyists and not particularly professionals when they were trying to pass information on to newcomers. Was like not really editing, or like just trying to get it as perfect in the camera, and almost seeing editing as fixing or cheating when and obviously it's more important and crucial these days anyway, because I feel like an image isn't finished until it's edited, and to be honest, they did edit images back in the film days anyway.
True
So they did used to overexpose the film, and like I've seen all sorts.
You used to like colouring in and stuff like that.
Yeah, so they definitely did it in the film days. So if anyone says that they didn't do it back then, tell them to shut up.
But edits, I mean, that's the idea. It's a great picture, and edits used to improve it.
Yes.
To do the impossible most of the time. Do something you just physically couldn't do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, it helps with adding your styling as well, because if you wanted to add colours into the image but not affect the skin tones, like sometimes that's much easier doing through Photoshop.
You get a look, don't you? You know.
Yeah, of course.
Can't have a makeup artist at every.
Like you can't get your camera to shoot in a really wide crop format.
Oh, yeah, so crop it.
Your camera doesn't shoot in square, like
yeah,
if you wanted to do... Like, there's so many little options that you have to edit it to get it to look like that.
I definitely think people avoid, because they hear Photoshop and know it's massive and it's another thing to learn.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's not the photography I'm on about. But
just start with the basics.
A few simple things, you know, at least be elements, and you could just do certain stuff.
We've done a couple of camera classes where we were mainly talking about the camera. We kind of just finished off the last 5 minutes.
Just touch on the edit.
Like, if you just literally add a bit of brightness, a bit of contrast, maybe have a play with the saturation. You
play with the levels, and that's, look how much it's changed with 4 little 2-minute things that you've done.
So if you've underexposed it, just brighten it up, and then that will already look so much better.
Yeah.
If you want to make it
get it. You want to get it as bang on. You're trying to get it perfect in the camera.
Of course, which is always a good thing to do.
Yeah, because, certain things can't be fixed and improved. But more often than not, the edit is more just a polish, isn't it? It's just just make them perfect, bring them together as a set.
Yeah.
And it a little easier for us to do, you know, when there's a set as a theme, it says, you know, one family, a certain amount of images that we're wanting to get with a view to putting montages, wall arts together and things like that. So we're knowing what we're doing.
I think the edit kind of got me into photography to begin with as well, because when I was doing music in college, I don't know why, but there was a section in there where we were doing...
You had to Photoshop yourself.
Yeah, we were like photoshopping. And
this ran out of music subjects.
Yeah.
Right, today, bassoon.
But it was like interesting to see how far you could take a picture where they're like adding insane amounts of colour
you can definitely ruin it, can't you?
And then adding funny faces onto people.
Again, it's supposed to be a bit of fun.
Yeah, of course.
It's supposed to be a bit of fun. So... Yeah, so, right.
So in terms of editors, like, don't feel like you have to get Photoshop. I mean, you can get Photoshop. I mean, can you still get Photoshop and Lightroom for, is it just under £10 a month?
I think so, yeah.
I've heard that in America that it's gone up to $20 a month, so I'm hoping that doesn't for us.
Probably.
There's also a funnily named GIMP, which is fun.
Oh, yeah.
I know there's iPhoto as well on Apple devices. There's a really good mobile editing app called Snapseed. Again, they're all free, apart from Photoshop.
I think everyone's done it. See photo on your eye, especially if you've got an iPhone. Yeah. Just press the little magic wand. Just do that. Yeah, just give it a little bit. That's essentially...
Yeah.
I mean, you can do amazing stuff, but...
Of course, you can go into more
for starting off, then that just gives it that little polish.
I would say check YouTube for, like, very simple, basic editing things. Like, if you're a bit scared with editing just or general use of computers or anything like that, start basic. Like, don't feel like, I've got to airbrush and brighten eyes and all this. Don't go too deep.
Yeah, repair teeth and perfect skin, and absolutely. So I guess bullet points are there's 5 tips that we're going for.
So yes,
we'll go first.
We'll go for
1.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what brand of camera you use, especially if you're picking a DSLR or a mirrorless. It doesn't matter. So Canon, Nikon, Olympus, Sony, Panasonic, Pentax. There's probably more, but they're all okay.
Yeah. So 2, I'll do 2. So get to know the gear, because ultimately, this is what you're going to... If it's going to be your craft, it's going to be the tool that you use. The more you get to know it and more comfortable you get with it, the more you're going to be thinking about what you're shooting rather than worrying about getting it, worrying about how you're going to get it. So, yeah.
Perfect.
In at number 3.
Number 3. Don't upgrade yet. Like, you're potentially maybe not even ready to upgrade yet. I mean, if you're not even thinking about doing photography professionally, you're not making money from it, then there's probably even less of a reason to upgrade. Unless you've got lots of surplus money, there's really no need to do it. I mean, kit lenses these days, the kit lenses, especially because we use Canon, they still work really well. Yeah. So don't feel like you need to upgrade yet.
Yeah. Number 4. Shoot a lot. Shoot. Use it. This is the massive advantage against film. You can shoot. Don't leave them on the memory card. Bin it. If you're trying to achieve something, keep going at it. But just shoot. Use the camera. You bought it.
Yeah.
Use it.
Probably even more reason to not upgrade yet as well. Just keep using the cheaper camera to the point where you don't mind taking it to places where you're a bit unsure about, or just use it.
Yeah. Take the good camera to the event. Don't leave it because you think, I might get wet.
Then next one, edit. So just play around with editing. Like, even if you take a shot and you're not too happy with it, and you just want to have a bit of a general play around just to see the limitations of editing, just have a good play with it, because there's so many options within editing. But if you wanted to just start off with a simple, like adding brightness and contrast and making it black and white, or adding more colour, those like the 3 basic ways of where you can improve an image or just change it.
Yeah. So that's the top 5.
Perfect.
And I think that's pretty good going, and stuff that I don't think you'd necessarily think was the most important stuff. I really do think shooting as much as you can. And comfort zone bit when it comes into that shooting, like if you're not great with a certain age group, if it's one of the big kids, or if you're not comfortable with certain things, dead easy to avoid it. Fine, until if you are doing professionally, and that's that is the subject that needs photographing.
If you really want to do this professionally, then like push yourself to do it. Definitely.
Give it a try. You never know, you might find you actually do quite enjoy it. It was the idea of it was worse than the doing it, and I think that does come up a lot for kids photography. I think because if you've got kids, people are comfortable with that age group because you think you know them, because you've got one or two in those ages.
Sometimes it's a completely different thing, though. If it's someone else's child, like, I know when I first started doing this, even though I had a daughter at the time, I'll still have a daughter.
You've not got rid of her now. You still got her. You're gonna keep her for it.
But I was still. It was just a bit of a war between like just immediately turning into like not kid mode, but all of a sudden like having rapport with them and just having fun immediately, and just trying to get them on side with.
That's it. It dawned on me quite early on, and I know we either drift to talk about weddings or portraiture because it's the thing that we do the most, weddings or kids. That the kids thing was quite early on working for other people. It dawned on me that when it was made apparent that if we're going to do 30 of these, right, the quicker they're on side, the quicker they're done. Generally, the better they are. The happier people are, the better you look.
The longer it takes as well, is that the more tired or...
Trying to look cool, entertaining the kids, will make you look stupid, because anyone can see the kid just going, I don't think so, mate. Like, what is that? If you're just going, quack, quack, and squeezing the duck in, but like, that's not going to work. You get into it, you look good at it, they will quickly, or quicker, hopefully, do the thing that will allow you to achieve getting the shots. So getting in that mindset, and we've said it before, it's tricky, isn't it, to we can be in the studio, just got off the phone yelling at, having a row with Virgin Media or something like that, because or I don't know, some supplier or something like that, and having to switch that off because you've got 3 kids coming in that don't care. If you're in a bad mood, it's like, why have you brought us here to this guy? I thought you said it was going to be fun. And they won't look as good. You know what I mean? No one will have as good a time. And I think you do look dafter. It's definitely something to say to new starters is get into it, because people will appreciate
because
you work, putting your effort into
the parents bring the child
subject
in, you get everything set up, sit the child in the middle, and then just kind of shrug your shoulders and look at the parents and
say cheese. Say, like, never worked in the history of children's photography. I mean, say cheese.
You get a smile. It's a hideous smile.
It's hideous, though, and they're shouting cheese at you. Take out like that. Whereas a proper laugh is irreplaceable. So they're the big ones for me on the sort of practical side of it. And get as involved in the cameras as you want. You find out new stuff, what it's capable of doing that we didn't know.
There's definitely benefits to getting more expensive cameras.
Of course there is,
but you'll probably find that your photography improves more the more you learn rather than the more you buy.
I don't think buying all of the top gear would make you better at photographing kids than photographing kids with a smaller basic starter camera and a kit lens. But you've done 300 of them. You're going to be better than that.
And like I say, especially if you're not a professional, then there's really no need.
It's difficult to get that many shoots.
If you're not a professional, you don't need to shoot 4K. You don't need you don't need a full frame camera.
You're not really going to blow in stuff up, and it's nice though. Don't get me wrong. Nice. I love playing with the big cameras. They're cool.
It's not a necessity. And don't feel pressured by anyone, especially in like Facebook groups that tell you need to buy certain equipment.
Because how did they know? Don't know what you're shooting. If it's something specific, yes, fair enough.
If these hobbyists have already got like a lot of money, and it's quite easy for them to say, £400, but like to some people, £400 a lot of money. You can't just.
I think there's always something better you could do with that money, than just collecting gear. But it is a hobby. And people love people coming for camera clubs that have got so much gear.
Yeah.
We've got strobes, they've got snoots, they've got endless flash guns and all sorts of different.
How many times have you used it?
And bringing it going, what is this? By the way, I got bought it because I mentioned 3 years ago that I was into photography. Now all anyone gets me for Father's Day, birthdays, Christmas is photo gear. I don't know what any of it is.
Yeah.
Or I'm on auto. I'm like, right, you're probably not making the most out of most of this stuff. Sell all of that, get that, brilliant. Yeah, there you go, and use it. Use it, because that's one reason to not do stuff is you're carrying a suitcase around full of stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I'll just use my phone.
I said build up to it, like get the equipment when you know you need it.
When you need it, yeah. Like, and it's gonna improve what you're doing.
I mean, even I have these moments where I'll take like 5 lenses with me. I end up finding I use 2 or 3, and then I still keep them just in case I need them. But like, I could easily just not have them 2 lenses.
I'm going to use that the guys that came in this morning as an example of their pictures. So we shot a family. We've shot them a couple of times. It's twin girls and an older boy. And the twins came in when they were babies, weren't they? And the older lad was only little.
Yeah.
And they're back in now. The girls are 6,
I think.
6 and 10 respectively, these guys. And they come on in and we've shot them before as babies. They can't really remember, maybe a little bit, because it's been sort of a yearly thing. I think we've had a 2-year gap from seeing them from being little. And we started off and it was just straight into chaos. Like start with a bit of fun, running, jumping around. Yeah. Normally for that age we maybe have some bubbles out, we'd be throwing stuff around, we're getting going. Just talking worked. I was very aware, because she was shooting and I was sort of entertaining, that I wasn't really doing it. It was messing about. Was working, fun. Was getting them laughing. Yeah. And it was, I mean, we were probably done in 15 minutes, but we tried some different stuff. We took furniture outside because it was a nice day to try and catch some cool stuff, because they were into it. They started, to really enjoy it. Yeah. And that was, all of that was kind of unusual for me. When it finished, it only dawned on me that I was like, what did we do? We just talked then, shouted, laughed. That was it. Yeah, like no tricks or anything really. It helps
break down the barrier, and
it was just cool. It was just a cool
loads of natural laughs and smiles, and
they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. And then Mum loved them today, which is always nice. Yeah. Because especially because I thought they were really good. I loved them. I thought they were really cool, and it's nice when they could see that as well and go, yeah, that is really cool. And she even said as well as the funny bit, she was really good at your job. Really good with the kids. I was like, I hardly did anything. Like, they were on good form. It was genuinely a fun shit.
So you got all the praise. I shot it.
You shot it. I got all the praise. Yeah, I was getting a smile. But that is something that I would own. I don't think I would have entertained doing something like that if I hadn't done as many or been involved in as many shoots with kids as we did. Because one thing I do see, and I've seen it loads with photographers, is doing something to get smiles that is for the wrong age group. Yeah, it's they've just shot a load of 2-year-olds or 1-year-olds, and then they're trying to get a 10-year-old. Yeah. To react to stuff like that, and you're going, it's the poses,
like, because we do nursery and school photography as well. Like when sometimes you get like 2 or 3-year-olds like doing a pose,
doing the cutie,
and when they try and do make an 8-year-old boy do that, and it's like you could tell in the look on the face they're going, "What am I doing?"
Yeah. And that's what I mean. Yeah, it's like age specific stuff that. That gets the best reactions. It's only just it doesn't always work, but finding out over time.
Yeah, every child's different,
and I think parents especially appreciate it if you're making that. You're obviously making that effort to get ultimately what we're wanting is great reactions that we can photograph. Yeah. Because don't get me wrong, it's amazing stuff when it's all about lighting and the gear and the setup, but it's rarely a smiley happy face, is it? On kids, especially for kids photos, because they've been sitting on a box for 25 minutes while you faffed about with a snoot and a downlight and a hair light, and you with a wind machine in the face and stuff like that. Yeah. So there's definitely a place for that, and I do love that, and it's great, but it for fun stuff in studio and nursery,
for having a fun experience and getting a variety of shots like that just doesn't work for us, because.
I think it's for new starters, that's easier to start off doing that. Yeah, having fun with it, because you just see what happens. Yeah. And then catch it and work on your composition and your framing and all of that stuff, the more you get chance to do it. So
yeah, brilliant.
Keep shooting.
Right, yeah, I suppose we'll tie it up then.
Yeah. So that was...
no idea how long this podcast has been.
It feels like days.
It might take me a week to upload this.
So yeah, keep your top tips, but yeah, don't get put. That's all. It's just something we noticed. That's why I wanted to do this one. It was a lot of negativity about starting off, and everything was this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. To the point where I was like, can anyone? Is the one on that's like, just try this? I
mean, the first thing that helped me, like, really, really get into photography is I started off. I didn't start off. I had at one point like a point and shoot Canon camera. Yeah. I'm going to guess it was called the A1200.
Okay,
potentially. But yeah, I started like joined a little group in Flickr, and everyone had this same camera. And it was quite cool to see everyone's shots, because it's a compact camera, it's the same camera, same lens, everyone's got the same playing field.
Yeah.
And we all used to get shots, and sort of like we had a community around that one camera. Like, it's a shame Flickr's not really doing as well these days.
No.
But
then there's Instagram there, isn't it?
But again, like, that kind of brought the creativity out, because it's like that was the only camera we were using.
Yeah. I think a thing that definitely helped me as well was when I started doing it and working in it, was looking at other people's work and having to bear in mind that you're generally seeing their best stuff.
Yeah.
You know, that the stuff that they want to put out there. Yeah. You know, that this is really, and thinking, blimey, look at this work. But then rather than being sort of envious of it or thinking that you couldn't do it, it's like, I wonder how we've achieved that look. Never going to find out, because again, you don't see the raw image, you see it after it's edited, you don't see the situation that they were in.
Yeah.
You know, it could be a bride at a real wedding, or for all I know, it's the guy's sister and she's been there for 4 hours while he set that up, you know.
So a wedding one can be quite weird, because you do find many wedding photographers, they'll get 2 models, dress them up in wedding gear, go into the middle of the Lake District and get some lovely shots. Those are fantastic pictures, don't get me wrong, but you did not do that on a wedding day.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Fair play.
But yeah, like...
Yeah,
don't be
being put off with it, because it did get off-putting until all of a sudden you've got one, and then you see yours loads, so it's familiarity.
Yeah.
You just go, it's not as good. Someone else sees it and goes, oh my God, that's brilliant. Yeah. And then you have a tendency to go, what, that old thing? Nah, it's rubbish. And it really isn't. If someone likes it, then it's good.
Yeah.
So yeah, keep shooting.
Yep.
And don't spend a fortune on a load of gear to start with. Cool. Right. So next time, what are we doing next time? I don't know.
We haven't
decided. We'll put another Sideways live broadcast on.
Yeah. Maybe not Sideways.
I quite like it though. I quite like the Sideways. We're live Sideways.
So everyone will have to tilt their heads.
So then if people were watching it out and about, you could tell who's looking at ours, because their heads are sideways. But yeah, I think we're going to do a bit more about, because we're coming into nursery season, so the kids photography stuff.
Yeah.
How what we're doing professionally and in studio and out at nurseries is relevant to what you can do at home with your own kids.
Yeah.
That there is a crossover there.
So if you've got any questions or any topics you want us to cover, just let us know in the comments below. Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right.
See you in the next one. Thank you.
We'll see you soon. Ta-ta.